A requirement for this course is Linux. You must know Linux to start this course. So I'll create a folder. Let me call it shell SS for shell scripting. Right now, if I want to work with this folder, normally what I should do is drag this folder inside VS Code. Now I've created it. If I want to create folders inside it, I tap here and say, alright, let's call this front end folder. Let's assume I'm building a full stack. So this is front end folder. Now I'll create another called the back end folder. Then I'll create the last one called the database folder. Because they are empty, VS Code is arranging all of them in one line. But if I start putting content, so in front end, let me put index.html, right? In back end, I tap on it. Let me put script.js. So I've created a file in the back end. So back end database is supposed to be outside. Back end is supposed to be outside. So this is what we want to have. We want to have these three folders by themselves. Alright, so inside the back end we have script.js, JavaScript file. Inside the database we should have codes.sql. So that's an SQL file inside database. Inside backend we have JS. So each of them have a file in it. So do you see the way I am creating all these things one after the other, folder after folder, file after file? Right? There's a better way to do this. It's called shell scripting, and I'll show you how it works. Let me drag this here. All right? So what are these folders I have here? I have backend, database, and front end. So what I do is I come here and say make a folder called backend, make another folder called front end, and lastly make a folder called what? Database. It's a command, and this mkdir means make directory or make a folder. That's what it means. -p here means that just leave it like that for now, because I don't want to confuse you. It actually means that create every directory necessary to create this directory I'm creating. All right. For example, if I have another directory here called root, this mkdir means make this backend folder. But then what if this root doesn't exist? It will give an error. It will tell you root doesn't exist. But this -p here means that whatever doesn't exist, create it in order to create this. That's what it means, right? So Ctrl Z. You don't need this -p to be here. We can just remove it. But at least now you know the meaning. Right, now these three commands will create these three folders or directories. Now we want to create script.js inside the back end. What we will do is to copy this back end and do what? Paste it here. So we're saying touch in Linux means to create script.js inside the back end folder that you created here initially. That's what it means. So I can come here and put front end here, and we'll say create index.html inside this front end folder that we had here that we already have created initially. All right, so is it not front end? Index.js, good. So what is in the database? Code.sql. So we'll come here and we'll put database / code.sql. We can delete the rest. Okay, we can leave the readme. So basically everything I created here manually, these three things, three files and these three folders and the files in them, I'm trying to create them using shell scripting. So I have wrote the script. This is a script. It says, now remember this must be here. If you want to know what it means, copy it, paste it on ChatGPT and ask it to explain what this means. Without this, nothing else runs. All right? So now this creates the three directories and the three folders. Now this command creates the files in the folders. And then it creates a readme file in case you want to send it to GitHub and the rest. And then when it finishes, you're saying echo to me file structure created successfully. In other words, tell me when you're done. Now, I want to delete all these three files. Okay, what I will do, I will drag this out. This old one have been deleted. Now I will close this SS folder. This SS folder is here. Let me create a new one called SS2. So a second SS folder. I will open it in VS Code. And as you can see, it is empty. So I'll put only this shell script inside it. Now I will run this script. You'll see what will happen. I go to my terminal. Let me make it a full screen. The first thing I want to do is to do ls to see the content of my folder. I can see my create structure is here. All right. Next thing I want to do is to give this file, this script, permission to create everything I have said it should create. It needs that permission. So the command for it is called chmod +x. Right, then I write the name of the file. And in Linux, once you type the first 2 or 3 letters, you can press tab to complete it. Now, if I press this, I have given it the permission. All I have to do now is to press full stop / the name of the file. I press the first 2 letters and I press tab. If I press enter now, all those folders will appear here. So watch here as soon as I press enter. Look at it. I have my backend with script.js, database. What happened to database? The database file doesn't have the code.sql. I will figure that out. Front end has index.html, and I have my readme. So this code did not run. And I do not know why. Oh, I see why now. I misspelled my database. This is supposed to be BASE. So I will delete everything again. See, it's very important you do the right thing, else you get all these kind of errors. All right, delete. So let's try again. I'll delete this readme as well. Now, we've already done this. We've already given the file the permission. We don't have to run this code again. All we have to do is to run this code again. /create structure.sh. Right? So let's run it again. Now, if you check back end, you see your script. Database, you see your code.sql. Front end, you see this. So the reason I'm telling you this, do you see how many? It took us like 1 second to create this file structure. Instead of pressing this, type in your folder, pressing this, type in your index.html, a script is like writing the code of something you can do manually, but you write it so it is done automatically in seconds. You understand? You can use a script to build a website. Instead of building the website, write a script to build the website and it will build it in seconds. Right? So many things a script can do, but the purpose of this video is to show you what the real purpose of a script is: to write down codes that can be used again and again in your programming workflow, so that you don't have to, you can automate manual things. For example, whenever you want to start a project, you can just run this file to create the structure, so that you don't have to start creating things from the scratch. I will make 2 more videos to explain shell scripting, but this is the most basic shell scripting I can explain. Trust me, it gets really complex, but the complexity is not our goal here. Our goal is to just understand the concept of shell scripting.